Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Asian Psycho, and I'm going to be doing another addition to the AK-74U chapter of my Exploring the Arsenal series. I believe this will be listed as either episode 5 or like a Exploring the Arsenal extra, but we'll see in the end. But for now, time being, I will informally introduce you guys to the STG44, which Combat Arms released just today. Because I'm recording this commentary the day that the patch finished for as of January 19th, 2012. So yeah, this is the new forgeable gun in the gun emporium at the moment, and it is called the STG44, or more commonly known as the MP44. This is a World War II gun. This was a German Nazi. I don't really want to say Nazi, but that's what it is. It's a German modern. It's technically considered the first modern assault rifle, and it was developed by the Nazis during the World War II as a kind of a hybrid between the battle rifle, which they had the Kar 98K, and their submachine guns, which they had their MP40 and their MP whatever their submachine guns were. So they created the STG44 to try to create a good balance between the two, like the range of a battle rifle, but the full auto capacity and the compactness of a submachine gun, and this is what came out of it. And I do believe that the STG44 is one of the main inspirations for the ever so popular Russian variant that we now know as the AK-47. So this is the assault rifle that started it all, and I'm really glad that they put this in to Combat Arms, because I fucking love this gun and it's fucking OP. And let's get into why it's so OP. So once again, guys, it's called the STG44, or I'm just gonna call it the MP44 because that's how I grew up calling it. So MP44 it is. And if you got a problem, well, screw me. Alright, so a little bit of background information. Well, I already gave you the background information. Background information pertaining to Combat Arms, that is. At rank unlocked, it's because you forged this from the AK-74U with, I believe, 7 replica pallets. Technically, its rank unlocked would be the same as the AK-74U, which is there is no rank requirement, so you can get this right at the start. Do keep in mind though that you still will have to work to get those replica pallets. So I mean, you still gotta work at that. It's not like you can hit the ground running with the STG44 in your hands. So that's that. As for its cost, well, cost 800 GP a day plus 7 replica pallets, because that's how much the AK-74U costs. So whatever. Now here we get into the goodies, the goodies. For the STG44 or the MP44, the damage on the MP44 is a 45, so this is the same kind of damage that the G36 has, so indeed is very powerful, just damage-wise, even for an assault rifle. Moving on to the portability. The portability is on the slower side. I was just doing the commentaries for several of my M14 episodes for Exploring the Arsenal series, and it is similar to the M14, I believe the original M14, in that both of them have a slow portability of 55, so portability is not that great, but do keep in mind that this is made out of wood and solid steel, or I think it's supposed to be in real life, so it is pretty heavy, and I'm not surprised that they gave it a really bad portability in Combat Arms as well. It's not like I matter because I always run speed gear anyway, but I mean, if you guys really care about how much it slows you down, then there it is. Moving on to the rate of fire. The rate of fire is at 70. So comparing this to the G36, the G36 has a slower rate of fire than the STG44. So that means that the STG44 has a substantially higher DPS than the G36, and the G36 is pretty fast killing, but the STG, man, the MP44 is a whole dimension by itself. You can put down people like nobody's business, and yeah. If you guys haven't tried this out already, I highly suggest you guys do, because you're missing out on a lot. And yeah, there's really no reason why not to use this gun. And it'll also give excuse for people to start using the AK-74U a lot more. So yeah, that's that. And moving on to recoil or the accuracy. The accuracy is at an 85, so it's pretty accurate. Obviously, it's not as accurate as the G36 per se, but still 85 accuracy is more than what you can ask for, and indeed it is very accurate. But here's why I don't really recommend in scope like just basically spraying down your sights. The recoil for the MP44 is at a 67. Now this is 1 point lower than the G36. In fact, the recoil pattern is actually, or in-scope that is, in-scope recoil pattern is actually very similar to the G36. You can tap fire with it, but the tap fire ability is not as great with the MP44 as it is with the G36. But if you do go full auto with both of them, you'll notice that, or what I've noticed is that if you go full auto with both the G36 and the MP44, not at the same time obviously, but like switching them out, seeing what they can do, they actually share a very similar diagonally pulled recoil pattern, and I find that pretty interesting because statistically they're actually pretty similar, but I didn't expect them to even share the same in-scope recoil pattern. Obviously, I could be wrong. It could be just me delirious over God knows what, but to me it just feels like the recoil in-scope pattern feel pretty similar. So when I picked up that STG when I first got the MP44, it felt good in my hands from the get-go. And once I shot my first guy with it, I was like, yep, this MP44 is freaking amazing. So yeah, that's its recoil. Once again, do not be fooled by the fact that it has one less recoil than the G36, because even though it does have one less recoil, the in-scope recoil is still as hefty as the G36, and also you cannot tap fire as fast as you can with the MP44 as you can with the G36. Now for Recoil Spread, the Recoil Spread is also identical to the G36E, or what I believe it to be. The starting spread starts at G36 level, and it expands from there. So yeah, because of its high rate of, or relatively high rate of fire at 70, it's not really relatively high, it's more on the slower side, but whatever. You guys know what I mean. The Recoil Spread will have a tendency to jump out of control if you are not careful. So just keep that in mind. For the Recoil Kickback, the Recoil Kickback is actually pretty hefty. You'll notice a lot of side-to-side recoil, especially with the MP44. But for the most part, I just ignore it, and I always use the MP44 for close range duties anyway. So I mean, it's not going to be much of a difference to me if I have a little bit more recoil. Though later in this gameplay segment, you're going to see that I'm going to have to take back those words. So yeah, you'll see why in a second. Or soon, rather. Now moving on to the recoil controllability. Recoil controllability is actually pretty I don't want to say, what's the right word for this? Recoil controllability on the MP44 is doable, and it is quite easy to do, except if you fire too fast, man, good luck with that. And unfortunately, the MP44 is not a very generous gun, so whatever. Moving on to the tap fire ability. The tap fire ability on the MP44, like I had mentioned before, is that it's not really all that great. Let's see. Even while scoped in and you try to tap fire very slowly, you may have a random chance of, like, what? Oh no, sorry for that pause there. I'm just trying to think of what to say, but then, I don't know. It's doable, but then you can't tap fire as fast as you can with MP44 as you can say with the G36. So don't think that they're the same, because they're not. Now moving on to the sprint drawback. The sprint drawback and the sprinting animation itself and the reload animation itself exactly mirror the sprint animation and the the reload animation of the CZOT805, which I have already made a review on earlier. And what is it? Right. The sprint drawback is pretty much identical to the CZOT805. So yeah. Moving on to the draw speed. The draw speed for the STG44 is once again identical to the CZOT805. And the center speed, because it has such a hefty recoil, the MP44 will need to take some time. It will need some time to settle down for its. Actually, not settle. What the hell am I saying? Sorry about that. Something got caught in my throat. But yeah, for the draw speed, it's identical to the CSI 805, and that's all you guys need to know. In case I mentioned that again because I forgot what I was saying, the center speed for the MP44 is on the slower side. It's similar to the G36 in my opinion, but slightly faster than that, if you guys can imagine what that is. Because of its high rate of fire, and its hefty recoil, the spread can get out of hand if you're not careful, but it is relatively simple to control the recoil on the MP44. Moving on to the fire modes. The fire modes on the MP44 only comes in one, and that's full auto. And moving on to the reload speed. The reload speed on the MP44 is moderate at best. So I mean, I do have an extended mag 1 on this, but I mean, I feel like it's not really it doesn't really have the fastest reload speed in the world, so whatever. Moving on to its luck. My luck with the MP44 has been pretty moderate these days, but I mean, once again, we can always see. I don't know. It doesn't really tend to get you a lot of headshots, though. That is where I'm trying to get at, and I don't think I don't think I got much headshots with the STG44 in this game, so I don't know. I've never really gotten a lot of headshots with this thing yet, but we'll see. Moving on to the ammo capacity, it starts with the standard 3 rounds in magazine and 90 in reserve, so in case you guys haven't fallen back, this is where you guys should start charging. And yeah, for the speed, key physical characteristics, I mean, it looks like a fucking MP44, doesn't it? So yeah. What more should I say than that? MP44, father of all modern assault rifles, so why do you even need another explanation for that? Why? So, moving on to the muzzle noise. The muzzle noise, man, it sounds pretty epic. After you fire each shot, there's always something that sounds like a douche, douche, douche. So as to give your MP44 a really big surprise. So yeah, that's that. And for its attachment options, surprisingly you can attach any kind of modification on the MP44. First I thought you could put a scope on it, which they allowed us to, and then first I thought they were just hiding the moon at me, which whatever. Let's see. What else should I talk about? Fireteam worthy and quarantine worthy. I would have to say it's more fireteam worthy than quarantine worthy because obviously because of high damage and low rate of fire, it's going to be easy to conserve a lot of bullets with the STG44. So definitely fireteam worthy. I wouldn't really say quarantine worthy because I mean, what? 55 portability? Yeah, that's definitely not the way to go when running away from them creepers. So, let's see. Frank personal opinions. So, for Frank personal opinions featuring the STG44 is one of the most freaking overpowered guns in combat arms. Nexon, please nerf this. Otherwise, when everyone knows what it's capable of, everyone's going to use it. So, yeah. With that being said, let's see, because I don't have a lot of time. The final rating for the STG44, I'm going to have to give this a 93 at close range, about an 80 or 85 at long range or middle range, and about, I want to say 55 at long range. So that gives a total of 77.666 and 2/3%. So hope you guys have enjoyed, and we'll be seeing you guys sometime later. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this MP44 special episode. It'll be, once again, it'll be listed as part of the AK74U chapter. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Yeah, boy.